this the right one? We're here. Hello. It's Saturday. Work night. We're gonna work at night because we have day jobs and we can't work during the day. In this project. Hello, everybody. I am just getting oriented here. I'm going to continue the trend tonight of working on small enhancements. I'll probably try to wrap up a couple of things I was already working on. Hey, Killboy. Because I want to close out the tickets, and to close them out, I need to finish some basic functionality. In the course of this last week, I've done minimal coding, except for to fix some major bugs I caused with some of my recent changes, because my contractor was getting really annoyed. The fishing game was broken in a couple ways. He's like, why isn't this working? So I had to fix some things. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to continue the trend. I busted out a whole lot of story today. A whole lot of story. And it's such a change to go from thinking about coding to thinking about how you construct a storyline and how you fit pieces together. You know, interesting enough, there's occasionally times, I'm just monologuing for a minute. There's occasionally times where when I'm writing story, I don't know what to make the characters say. And it's especially hard because I have to decide how often I want to let the player interact. So whether the player gets a voice or not. And if I do, then I've got to ask a question in that player's voice in context and then have answers available. Your version isn't broken. Well, you don't have the version of code that I'm working on. So it's an interesting shift of thought process. I don't usually have as much problems figuring out what someone's going to say. I just have to figure out how the pieces are going to fit together. It's actually, when I get into the writing story, it's far easier than trying to solve some of these technical problems. Because for the most part, I know what's happening or what the characters are going to say. There's just so much of it to write. It's like the quantity can feel a little overwhelming. And so that's, but it's interesting because sometimes I have one idea of the plot and characters. Like in some cases, I think an NPC is going to be fairly nondescript and generic. And then I realize through the course of writing that they need more depth. And so I'll just start providing more depth to the character. So it's kind of fun. A lot of work, but anyhoozle. I'm going to start by taking a look at my punch list today. Hopefully no one gets punched. Where's my button? My little Stream Deck thing isn't working, so I've been lazy about fixing it. I'm going to just go, I think it's this one. Yes. So I'm trying to think about, like, there are some things I need to finish up. I'm trying to figure out which thing I want to do tonight. One of them was, where was it? Oh yeah, this one was interesting. Like, this is a pretty involved one, and I feel like it's one that would take an entire stream to do. But effectively, when we show visuals on screen, sometimes they're done through the old system, and I want to make a new version of it. So this is sort of I need to do it, but it's sort of on my mental back burner. The monster palette shift, it shouldn't be hard to do, but again, it's one where I'm gonna have to find a bunch of annoying places in code, whatever. This one is not really a fun one to work on. It's just dumb. I need to do it, but it's dumb. The stats menu would be nice. I think people would like it, but I'm not sure if I want to go work on UI again. I already did the performance update loop, so that's good. I was considering basic analytics tonight, depending on where we get. I'm not really sure how interesting it is to work on it, but it would be interesting to have it in place. And then these ones are actually technically, I want to finish. I want to call them done, right? So I may not do both of them tonight. I might just work on the edge detection because I just need to finish a setup thing so I can close it out. So that's what I'm thinking. That's where my brain is at tonight. I'm trying to be a little bit more thoughtful when I get ready to stream, to actually have tasks, completable units. The bigger projects kind of kill me because there's no end. I finish a stream and it's like, what did you get done? Well, I got something kind of working. Anyhow, I'm monologuing, but I'm about done with that. So I'm going to stop monologuing and start workalogging. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back to my camera edge detection just so I can finish it. Because one of the things I discovered, basically when I got it working, was that I can't just implement it. I can't just throw it out into the wilderness because every map has a different structure. So there's no rhyme or reason or easily detectable way I can define for every map the same edges. The edges will always be different. Or different enough because the maps weren't designed originally with this in mind. I suppose if we had started all over from the beginning, we could have defined our maps in a way that it was aware of the edge detection. But that's not the case. And so even though I've made the feature and it exists, it's going to take some work, preferably by Jacob, to go to every single map and configure them with their edges. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to this. So this override configuration, this is what configures. This is how I originally essentially took over maps from Smile Game Builder. I made my own object that hooks into their objects and pulls data and whatever. And so, originally I even had this thing where these are all the events on the map, and I was doing stuff with them here. I don't touch these anymore because we use our graph system, but yeah, I did a whole lot of stuff to just kind of hook into and mess with Smile Game Builder stuff. But so here, I'll probably what I'll do is at the top of this, I'm going to define the edges, and then I'm going to apply the edges to the map when the map loads. It shouldn't be too hard. I'm just doing some configuration, basically. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm doing it at. Maybe? Let me just double check that this has category. It does. Okay. So underneath category, I'm going to add the edges. And I suppose I could add them as a rect. Not erect, but a rect. Should I do it as a rectangle? A rectangle would need to have a rectangle can't have two positive numbers of the same value, can it? Would it create a negative? I could just make a struct. I could just do a struct for it. I think I'll just make a struct. How often do you find yourself saying, I wish? Never. Not for this project. More for me, it's more wistful thinking in the future. There's not a point in any time I've been working on this project where I thought, man, I should have just done everything from scratch in Unity. The amount of learning I have had to do to learn how to use Smile Game Builder gave me the knowledge I would need when I want to do it from scratch. But I didn't have that knowledge when I started. So part of it, as frustrating as it is to try and take someone else's framework and make it work, I didn't know any of this stuff when I started. Why is my camera off? Always having trouble with this. This is where I'm standing. I want to stand on the edge of my... So if I want the camera to go this way... This... No, I'm going the wrong way. This. That. No. Why am I having so much... Every time I stream now, it's like every time... I think it's because I disconnect... I move my camera because it's kind of in the way. Now you get to see more of my body, but that doesn't help. Okay, we're almost there. Is that better? Okay. Yeah, so no, I don't bemoan it in any single way at all. I am happy that I went this route. The only thing that I regret is just not having the time. Not being able to work on it full time. That's all. I think even if I were working on it full time, even like, let's say for whatever reason, 8 months ago or something, or whenever we launched early access, it like went off like gangbusters, and we're making so much money that it's like, I'm going to do this full time. I still wouldn't have stopped and converted it. In the very, very beginning, I didn't know enough about Unity to do what I wanted. So yeah, I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. I suppose. We don't want our edges to be... We just want them to be ints, not floats, I think. But I think... How did I do it in my map? I think one of the things that people get really hung up on when it comes to how something was done or is done is like, what's the best way versus what's the now way. And I would say that's also from my own personal experience. The now way is, what can I get done right now, so I have something deliverable, versus what can I get done that's like the best way that I really should do. What's the proper way? I don't think game devs really care much about the best way, though. Do they? Game devs care about the way that works. And in our case, the way that worked was we had a functioning product. So we, it would, like, the amount of effort it would have taken to go back and build everything from scratch versus injecting the engine and figuring out how the engine works. I mean, it's just no contest. It's more effort overall over a longer period of time, but from a short period of time, like a progress perspective, it would have been a non-starter. We wouldn't be here right now. Do I want the... Oh crap! Can I can't serialize this stuff? I don't remember if I can serialize a struct. I should check. In Unity and C#, can I serialize a struct? I think I can, because you can serialize a vector, and a vector is a struct, I think, right? Pretty sure. Yes. Okay. I just have to make it serializable. The thing about a struct is the way it works with memory allocation is different, which is nice. It's actually less hefty on allocations. So what I'm going to do is my current pattern. I do left, top. I do counterclockwise, clockwise. It gave me the code. Why not just use the code it gave me? I called it map edges, but it called itself map edge. I'll just make these all private. Because, this is how I roll. I know it's more code, but it feels right to use proper programming practices. That's what I do. This is how I do it. Do, 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 do. This is how Matzi does it. This is how he does it. It's Saturday nights. Come on. You got it. You had it right there. Thank you. Thank you, Copilot. All right. So then we'll put in our configuration a private map edges. Did I call it camera edges? Yeah. I get so hung up on what we call things. So this should work. Probably. I don't even know if I need to make it accessible, but I'll do it anyway. It should default everything to 0. I think. I get an error? Why did it? No? Oh, it's still compiling. Okay. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Yeah. It seems in my limited experience in Unity and even what I've done in Unreal, it feels like when I start my own fresh project, I have less issues. Yeah. Well, I mean, your key point though is limited experience, right? So people with limited experience in the system won't know how to track down common issues or how to make things sort of mashed together because you haven't kind of got the full scope of the product. And the problem about limited experience is it also limits other things. Because things I didn't know how to do animations. I didn't know any of that stuff. So the game has built-in processes for animations and graphics and all this other stuff, right? Yeah, it's not the Unity way, but it just worked. So Jacob could make stuff. And as long as I could figure out how to make things fit together and work, it was fine. Again, I use it's this framework approach. It's like using a framework of anything, really. Why did it not give me the... Oh, there it is. It just got hidden in here somewhere. Why is it in here? I want it at the top. Okay, but the map edges works. Oh, I see, because I put it... So this is not... Okay, I put it in the wrong place. Is the problem. This is a map override configuration, and I need it to be... Oh no, maybe it does have to be here. I think... No, in game map data. There it is. Game map data. That's the one. Yeah, okay. I just put it in the wrong place. So yeah, anyway, I mean, it's an interesting debate. And I think there are some presuppositions that we make when we're working on projects. So what's going to happen is you made a really beautiful game, Killboy, and every step of the way, you're going to hit something you don't know, and you're going to have to learn how it works in order for you to progress in building the game. Because you're going to have to figure out how to build something. Now, to be fair, nowadays with ChatGPT, some of that's going to be way easier than it ever has been in the past. Even with the knowledge gap thing, like I saw this video that says, like, the bigger the gap, the less you should use ChatGPT. But yeah, maybe, but... Like, ChatGPT can fill in a lot of gaps of knowledge that will, once you figure it out, you're like, okay, I know how to use this, right? And arguably far better than if you watch a video tutorial on how to do certain things. Because I've noticed that game devs who do video tutorials tend to either do it to solve a problem they had to solve, which means however they solved it might be kind of different than how you want to solve it. or they do it to solve a generically simple problem that skips all of the complications that you're going to have to learn about when you start doing it yourself. I'm not saying one way is better than the other, but I would say that from the hindsight perspective, we were rushing to get in 6 months the demo out of this game to see how it would take. And we were still like the whole time trying to avoid getting too deep into Unity. But the way the game was growing and the interest, I was like, the only way we're going to get what we want out of this is by investing time in getting what we currently have working into Unity. And again, I didn't know how to do animations. I didn't know how animation controller worked. None of that stuff. I didn't have ChatGPT when we started, which is again another factor that would be at play in my case. Okay, so we made a map edges. So it's just like all these factors come together, right? It's really hard to look back and say, well, yeah, you should have just done it this way. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to assume I would have been able to do it better had I done it differently. This is also why the whole survivor bias thing exists. You know, you watch YouTubers that say, do it my way and you'll be successful. No, you won't. Their way is based on a number of factors that you can't anticipate. Your way might be similar to their way, but there's no heckin' way it's going to be exactly the same. And the smart people that pick up on that will pull out the nuggets that will be useful to them, and they'll make their own way. I'm not saying the people who don't do that aren't smart. I'm just saying that truly to find a way has to be your way. I'm not debating anything. You choose your route, and that was. I'm just wondering if you felt one way. Yeah, no, and I'm not saying you are necessarily debating. I'm giving you my running commentary thoughts on the topic. Because you're not saying, you know, Motzi, that was dumb. Why did you ever think of doing it that way? You're curious as to like how I feel about it in sort of hindsight, looking back. Like, if I could choose differently, would I choose differently? And the answer is no. The factors would not have anything to do with my choice of engine, but more about my available time. And I'm still, I mean, like, interestingly, I don't feel like I'm spending quite as much time on the project as I used to, but we're still talking 20 hours a week. It's like, I used to spend much more of my weekends the whole time. Today was the longest time I spent in a while, and that was 4.5 hours of work during the day. Otherwise, it's a couple hours over the weekend, and then I stream, so it's like, you know, it still ends up being 4 or 5 hours. So it's really just like the big debate for me is like, how do I manage my time? And what's the best way I can do that, knowing I wouldn't be able to work on some of these deeper problems. And I think personally for me, the other problem is I struggle when I hit something I don't know, and getting over that hump is always a challenge. ChatGPT makes it easier, but still has been a challenge in the past. So I was trying to avoid having to do things where I had to dig in because I don't know what the end of the tunnel looks like in that case. I need to find out where a map scene finishes loading. I think it's what is it? It's called I always forget the word for it. Not unload. It's open? No, it's not open. Damn it. What is it? What do they call it when they load a map? Oh, change. I think it's change. Maybe it's not in here. Change scene? No. Unload, rebuild. the word they use when they're loading the scene? Do load? Okay, do load might be it. Team data manager. No, that's not it. Maybe I'll do it from here and I'll do yield. I know there's some yields that happen in it. Change map impulse. That's, damn it. I always forget that one. I don't even remember what this was. Why did I get rid of this last time? Oh, I forgot about this. This is supposed to be a thing that like protects extent. Like the problem is when the debugger's turned on, this breaks. Based my question off of what I have seen in my experiences. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, like everyone's experience and observations are valid. I would say that the way that I do things is abnormal compared to your average game dev. And if you were to watch most game devs, everything they do, they're going to build from scratch typically. They might use some assets here or there, but they're not going to do what I did and take a whole framework, essentially, or a whole engine and shove it inside another engine and then figure out how to make it work. That's just not going to happen. So, but I mean, like, I don't think the way I did it feels like I would want to do it differently. I've also never really been a person that wants to build things from scratch, even though in the end I end up having to do that a lot of times. So, you know, good or bad, my method of learning is to make my life difficult. Okay, so do I have map engine? I wanted to see if I have a map data. Game map. No. So the game map data is not here. Is there an override? SCV over. Okay, load map override. Does this do anything with game map data? No, this is only using override configurations. So maybe I should have put it in the override. How does game map data get used? We use it on the main menu. Use it in save slots and quests. I'm pretty sure from the override controller I can get access to the game map data. I think the override controller knows. No? Maybe it doesn't know about his parents. So how the heck do I get it? I find it weird that I didn't make this more accessible. Ayo, Tokala, Spirit Fox, how are you? How's your evening going? Game editor. Get targets. I mean, I guess I could just get the map data if I wanted it on the map load. That's probably the next most reasonable thing to do. So what I could do is in the map scene loading, which would be change map temple. I don't really care about any of this stuff. I feel like I could just do it at the bottom and it'll be fine. Spawn. Yeah, you can spawn a name too. My biggest complaint about Uni is the editor's so slow. I don't see the same issues. My issue with Unreal was my editor would crash all the time. And maybe my machine just wasn't able to handle it. But yeah, Uni's slow. And the way it handles serialization, you have any sort of asset that ties into a serialized object, and when you save it, when you make a change and it saves, it's going to do a little spin up and you're going to get a little thing for a second, and it's so obnoxious. it shouldn't be that hard to serialize data. Okay. I understand why it's done that way now. Oh, I could do map loaded. Ooh, I wonder. No, because I don't use the maps anywhere. So I think I would need to do. I guess I could just make a load map edges. Private. Oops. I feel like my fancy little. I don't know what it's trying to do. Look at this edge object. I love that. I love that it tried to infer what I was trying to do there. Like what? Why? So map, game map. I think this is having a problem with the. I have to turn off the fancy things. Plugin? Yeah. Power mode activated. Save. Might require me to restart. So I can turn it off. I just can't turn it on again easily. Got it. Get record. Come on, you can figure out what I'm trying to do, can't you? This dot is the map. I think it's the map that it does it to. Good. That's good enough for me, am I right? These are the jokes, people. It's weird. I feel I make these comments offhand to people I work with. I see myself as a really calm person. I've always seen myself as a calm person. And they're like, Matzi, you're not calm. Everyone sees me as a fairly hyper person. But when I'm streaming, I feel like I'm a calm person. I don't know what's going on. What's wrong with me? I'm calm. Can't you tell? So if game map data is not null, then we need to. I think I can just. Can I just put the reference to the game map data? Would that make sense? I think I could just pass the edges. I don't know what would be better. Theoretically, if I put the reference to the game map data, then I could do whatever I want with it. So this, I think the lock triggers are the things that we're using. But we're no longer going to use X and Y and all that garbage. We're going to convert this to use. I think I'll put a struct for it. They'll make a public struct. So public map edges. I think that makes sense, right? It'll default everything to 0 if it doesn't exist. And whenever we load a map, we'll set it. So maybe I'll have to move up where it happens. That's why I put it into its own method. I am also a little curious about this. So it runs another method. Like it runs this twice. I discovered the hard way, which means it must mean it runs after this yield return. It does this thing again for some reason. Anyway, okay. So then we're going to do map edges. In fact, I don't like... One thing I really don't like about C Sharp, I understand the reason, but their programming pattern... Oh god, did I just change... Since properties have to have an uppercase, if you want to name this the same thing, you really have to prefix it so that the name doesn't have potential conflict. Wait, what happened to the one you were working on? The beautiful example you sent me. Where'd that go? This is garbage. What did I do here? I think I was trying to do something where I like loaded some existing data. Where's that? So let me tell you one of the downsides of building everything from scratch. Okay. The one benefit of rapid development is if you get an idea that gets traction, it builds momentum. And since you can build it so fast, it creates a scenario where you get stuck and you have to build whatever you have. It's just YOLO town. So there is that, I think, inherent potential benefit where, because of our decision to do it the way we're doing it, it resulted in momentum that was built up. Resulted in something where it's like, oh, well, we're this far along. I guess I'm just going to have to figure out the way to do it because we don't want to stop and go back and rebuild everything from scratch. You know, there's like these inflection points. And because we passed those inflection points, I also just kind of had to do it. So I kind of rejoice in that too, because it just forces you to move forward. I mean, the problem with development and developers is the proclivity to start over from scratch. In anything, in any project. I mean, maybe there's other rules in life that people run into, but with development, especially, like, it really feels like it's just so easy and enticing to just be like, oh, I'll go back and rebuild it. That's fine. I'll go do it from scratch. I know you're just learning, Killboys. I'm not specifically talking about you. I'm just generically using that as the example. Okay, so now I need to find the trigger where this goes. So why did I do this? I did this to... Well, that's dumb. Okay. So the reason I did this was because I wanted to be able to show it in the inspector. But I don't want that anymore. In the debug manager, right? Because it was part of my testing, I guess. Do I even use it anywhere? No. Okay. I'll just get rid of it. Not trying to be an edgelord over here or anything, but okay. So we have to update the map edge locks, and we're gonna have to figure out how this map works. I think we have to just check every freaking possible option. So instead of doing a trigger X, we're going to use left. Yes. Left. This shouldn't be too bad. I just have to go and replace all these values. Because we'll subtract right. That's exactly how it should be working. So then we do current edges at top. Oh my god. And then current edges dot bottom. Bottom. And then these are actually okay. The only thing I had to remove was the triggers. That's kind of nice. I like it when it's, you know, I can incrementally change things. This goes back to like, how do you write code and why do you write it certain ways? Well, I try to do things in a way that should I need to change them later, I don't have to go and like make tons of changes. It's not, it doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. So theoretically, my code is done. Right? I mean, there's going to be a bug somewhere, I'm sure, but let's build this and add some edging. What is a web developer's favorite T? URL gray? That doesn't make any sense. URL gray? Universal resource locator? Gray? Why would it be gray? Two protons get in a fight. Some neutron try to hold them back, and one proton yells, "Let me at him." What? Proton's not an atom. I don't get it. Please, I hope you all understand. I do get it. I'm just being facetious. All right. So I believe that worked okay. This was like 10. No, right was, I think 15 worked okay. And bottom was 10 maybe. I'm going to put some numbers in here and we'll see what happens. So we did north. I guess I could do Summiton. Summiton doesn't matter because there's only one exit, which is the bottom. So we'll do 15 for starters. Save this. Then we'll go see how it works. If it works. Or if it breaks. All of them are options. Imagine the Titanic with a Lisp. It's unthinkable. Unthinkable. I don't understand. Using Lisp to code the Titanic would be unthinkable for sure. Right? Why would you make a Titanic Lisp? That doesn't do anything. Out of Lisp. Yeah. Maybe ChatGPT 4.0 will be able to do this. Can you make me a picture using ASCII characters, primarily in the format of the Lisp language? I mean, honestly, compared to when I first tried to make it do ASCII things, that's not too bad. I don't know what that says, but this looks kind of like a ship, right? Okay, but now just do it as if the characters are Lisp language characters, i.e. friend. It's totally irrelevant to me working on my problem. I'm particularly enjoying my intentional misunderstanding of the jokes, though. There you go. That's a Lisp Titanic. just, just in case you're wondering, this is an actual Lisp program. I'm sure it does something amazing, like send a rocket ship to the moon or something. All right, let's go look at our edging. Let's get our edge on. I got my quick load thing working too. All right. Are we going to edge this or not? Let's see. Yay, we hit an edge. Look at that. Just call me the edgelord. Oh yeah, baby. Feels so good. I love me some edging. Does our camera look still work? Oh, it does. I wonder what happens if I go to an edge and then try to use my camera look. I can go to the edge and I can look a little farther beyond the edge. That actually, I don't feel totally bad about that. I almost think you could do some really interesting things in the game where people are going to assume there's this edge here, but they're going to go here, oh, what's over here? And then you could peekaboo something. I think that would be kind of neat. Good idea, Matzi. Thank you so much. I've been trying. I'm trying to learn how to do things. Maybe like combination of the camera in order to find some secret. Oh man, I'm so bad as a game developer because all I want to do is put fun little things in the game. I don't want to finish the game. I just want to keep adding things, all the little secrets and goodies. Oh. Okay, so one thing we'll have to do for the edge lording is, did it not apply the edge? Or maybe it's not far enough up. Okay, let's try this. I'll go to our game editor because I should be able to edit this in real time. So if I make this like 25, I'll make it five more bunces up. I don't know why I call it a bunce. This is perfect. Don't know what just happened there. Hopefully that was a fluke because I changed the value. Okay, so that's better, right? That's better. That looks more like where you would get out. So this is where the one problem is going to lie is when you first come into a map, we're going to have to force reload the edge locks. So what I'm going to do then, I think, is I'm just going to unlock all of the locks in this. So when we do like load map edges, we're going to set the edges, and then we're going to say map lock X equals false. Because I think what'll happen is I'll set this. Oh crap, I know what the problem is. Current. So here's the problem. When we load a map, so when we're doing the edging normally, it's based on the character hitting it when they're within the middle of the map. So the lock will happen, and it'll lock the actual position based upon the player. See this? But I think we shouldn't do that. I think we should lock it based upon the actual edge. I think that's all we should have to do. So we'll have to do the right edge will have to be this map here. But that should be... Oh, I see. But the problem is... Okay, hold on. How am I going to do this? I'd have to translate it because the edges won't... Will it? Won't it? Hold on a second. No, no, it should be fine. Yeah, yeah, it'll be, sure, it'll be okay. Check out the players at the edges of the map. The problem is here, I would have to determine which value. Oh, crap. So I'd have to say, like, if it's less than, okay, I'm gonna do this. If it's not locked and it's at the edge, then we would need to always set it to whatever value represents. So is there a trick? Is there a math trick here I can do? It'd have to be based upon where the current player is located. I don't think there's a math trick. I always wish there probably is some weird logic math you could use. But essentially, this right here is great. It tells me I'm at an edge, but it doesn't tell me where. So I'd almost effectively have to do the same logic again. It'd almost be worth it for me to say, instead of is at edge X, I'll be where is at left edge. Right? And does that translate all of them? Okay. This would make more sense. Then I would just have to do more work here. What I do? I would do. Screw it. I'm not gonna think. Don't think smart. See, this is my problem. Like, I could just have solved this problem by now, but I'm trying so hard to be like, oh, there's got to be a real clever way to write this, so I'm not doing like multiple nested if checks because, you know, I don't love nesting. But you know what? It can't be and, it's got to be or, right? So I guess I could do something where there's like some math involved here. But whatever. You know what? I'm gonna just grit my teeth and get through this nonsense. What I'm gonna do is gonna live it. I'm gonna feel bad. I'm just gonna sit here and live in how bad I feel about this right now. Don't like writing code like this at all. But I'm gonna just live it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. I guess I could still do. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna live with it. Copilot, make me feel better about my life choices. Thank you, Copilot. Just do it for me. Just write the crap for me so I don't have to feel bad about it. Now, the only problem is this used X instead of Y. These are the X positions. This did it opposite. It did the opposite things that I needed. It's stupid. GitHub's not good. I mean, ChatGPT's not good at doing things that are precise. Anyway, it's fine. We can go change values. This is right though, because those are X values. That's fine. But this was the one that was wrong. Oh no, it was right. No, it's right. It's right. It's Z. I got myself conflummoxed. I'm the one that's wrong. Perfect. I'm okay with being wrong. This will work, right? This will work. Gosh, I hope this works. Because then I can close the ticket out. Then I can go tell Jacob, all right, start adding edges every map. Just navigate through the entire game and make an edge. All 300 plus maps. Go for it. Have fun. You wanted this? Is this what you want? Okay. That is from a movie. And while I don't have it, the size of the round thing is bigger. But it's like a guy holding it over. Is this what you want? As rocks are thrown at it. If anyone knows... If anyone knows the movie that's from, speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, another thing I want to do is fix this. That was a little delayed. Your face is a little delayed. That's okay. I just assume you laugh at everything I do, and I'm hilarious. So that's fine. Oh, I don't want to run into that boar. It'd be such a bore. There we go, buddies. And actually, I can probably... so, two things I'm going to do. One is... in Summiton, I'll make the bottom 26. I think that'll be better. And then in the plains... This was when you said you could go add... Yeah. I get it. I didn't remember the exact order of the things I said, so I'm glad that you reminded me. But also, get it. So now, when I come up here... Gosh, I'm so happy about this. I mean, it's going to feel good. It's going to be one of those subtle things where people won't even think about it. It's almost like, oh, well, it just should be this way because, you know, screw you, Matzi. But at the same time, it'll make a difference in the feel of the game, people's ability to navigate around. They're going to feel good about knowing where they're going because, you know, things like this will happen. And, you know, oh, I'm at the edge of the map. Actually, I'm a little bit too much of it. So I need to change that slightly. And thankfully, it won't be hard for Jacob to go in and change these because he can just go and like, all right, it was a little too much. I'll change this to 9 and see what it looks like. That's better, right? I mean, I could even change it to 8 just so that there's a little bit more room. And then, okay, now I'm in Plains Central. Clearly, the top is too much. So I can change it. See, what do I want to change it to? I almost feel like I should make a way to force change it. Hydrate? Does this not count as hydration? Do you mean water? Do I have some of this? There's a thing about being married to people with long hair, or just having family with long hair. It's like the long hairs always get into my clothing somehow. So that looks like it's maybe 9 or 10. I guess I'll start with 10 and see what happens. So the top will be 10. Let's go back and forth. Oh, did it not apply? Let me see. What? This is central, I think, right? Make it 20. It might be that it wasn't, like it doesn't exist in the data set yet because it hasn't been saved, although that would be weird. It looks like it might. Maybe it came down a little bit more. It's hard because it's not like an exact. Okay. This is called bracketing, folks. In the military, when you're bracketing things, you go farther than you think the number should be. So then you can validate whether that was the right number. You work your way into the middle. Okay, so 15 or 16 maybe? I mean, all told, this won't be too terrible. It'll be a little annoying for us to set this up, but it won't be, like, completely annoying. Maybe Jacob will have a different opinion on that. Like, the having to go back and forth. But, I mean, it'll be obvious when you hit the edge, right? Oh, this will be one. Here's one of the problems, though. Is that we'll have to find the edges of the map. I forgot about that. It can't just be done by the entrance. So you just might have to change where the entrances and the exits are. Again, not terrible. But, you know, we definitely had some negative feedback where people were like, I don't know where I'm going in the map. It's really annoying and obnoxious. So Jacob wanted to go and like add little glowing markers and, you know, handhold everyone exactly where you're supposed to go. I was like, no, man. Listen, we can add that if we decide at the end of the day that it's necessary. But that's not the first thing we're going to do. Besides, you'd have to go back and add it to every single map then. Do you really want to go do that? Is that what you want to do with your time? Go to every single map and put a little marker? Okay, I understand the irony of me saying that while I'm talking about having to go to every single map and add edges. But it's still... I still think that that's more work than the alternative. Uh-oh. Forgot that I had left the new battle system on. Oh, coroutine couldn't be started. Okay. That's not too bad. So then, where's the edge of this map here? Maybe 20? 10, 20, 30, 40? So the left edge would be... I'm not doing this for every map. I'm just seeing what it... like the process is going to look like. That looks about right. Yeah. That feels right. Ah, it's so good. I'm so happy about this. This is going to make the game feel so much better. This is what? This is west, right? The little things in life. Of course, I also think about the fact that, like, I've seen other devlogs, for instance, for games like Sea of Stars, and they never talk about the technology problems they're solving. It's like they're so obvious they don't need to. And I'm sitting here like, look, I got a basic feature working that you should just expect to be part of the game. Isn't that exciting? Aren't you excited about this thing that you should obviously expect anyway? Yeah, well, you know, such is life. Let's try 10s on every edge and see how that works. Back to Killboy's point. Are you regretting deciding to use this engine instead of just building this stuff from scratch? No. Damn it. I'm not. I'm perfectly happy with where we have arrived. Everything is great. 15. Oh. None of this is ever going to be consistent, which is also super funny to me. And actually, maybe what I could even do is up is good. Left looks better because this is more hemmed in. Like it should feel more hemmed in. Oh, that was weird. What was that about? Okay, so thank you for the follow. Your names are with a J, so if it is a Latin American pronunciation, it would be Junarioso. Is that how you say it, or is it Junarioso? It looks like it's Spanish or something. There is some weird, like, oh, I see. So it's like the other problem is because the way the camera is moving with the player, it like locks in. So I'll probably have to do something where it like eases in. That's okay. Good thing I'm testing this right now. Oh, thanks, Killboy. At first I thought it was my bot doing that. I was gonna thank Machi Bot. Thanks, Killbot. Killboy Bot. Okay. So the only other thing I need to do then is clearly the speed in which this is deciding the camera movement isn't great. Maybe I just need a variance. Like if the player's position is too far away, then we use hold on a second. What am I? Let me see this real quick here. It's happening at the corners, right? So this is what's actually causing it, I think. Because I'm changing the map edge locked position. So I need to decide how that's gonna work. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just reuse whatever the locked position is. Right? So whether it's correct or not, I don't think it matters. We just have to create a new one. Okay. Because if it's not locked in that position, it won't affect anything. And if it is locked in that position, then it should be whatever we had set previously. That should be okay. I'm sure it won't be. But. Side note, because I was doing the chat GPT, this is what I'm looking at. So I don't look at my face or anything on the screen. All I see is Lisp. I don't even see the code anymore. All I see is parenthesis, parenthesis, parenthesis. Very parenthetical solution. I just saw 10 ants frantically running around the kitchen. I felt so bad, I built them a small house. What? 10 ants? Oh, tenants. Oh, that's grown worthy. Wah, 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 wah. That's grown-tastic even. How is that even a joke? How dare? 10 ants. Tenants. Tenant. 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 Look at those edges. Feels so good. Feels so good. Getting our edge on. You could say this stream's a bit edgy. Let's smooth it out. Now it's no longer using the character position. Perfecto. I'm not yet thinking about what will happen if we teleport. I think that will cause some problems. I think if I teleport the player to a different area on the map, I would need to reset the edging. Holy BJ! I've reappeared to say hi. How have you been? I didn't mean it that way when I said holy BJ. How goes your game? How goes your life? You been busy? Busy Joe? That's what you are? I don't think that's your name. Things are good here. Busy always. Always working on things. Always. Just working on edging lately. Story of the Alterium shift life. I was gonna look at teleporting. Okay. We only do teleporting now with nodes, and map changes are fine. It's not often that we'll have a problem with this, so it'll crop up in some weird thing. Game has been solved. Been trying to YouTube for the past 9 months. Do you want to share any recent videos? Teleport type. So I think what we want to do is, if we're going to do a teleport, I don't care what the teleport is. I think we'll tell it to reset. We'll just tell it to reset the value. And we'll just make an actual method for it. I suppose there could be a way to detect it, but I mean, it might work, but I'm just gonna try and protect myself with YouTube. Okay, let me see if I can do this without blowing our eardrums out. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Yo, Neo Vim is in the house. Bruno? Your name? Put it on your YouTubes? Let me see here. There's the audio problem. And the audio, I'm just gonna turn the audio way down, and then we'll see if we can get it to not sound like plastic eardrums. Gonna work. Turn off the music. I'm not gonna watch the whole video. I just want to take a quick look at it. Okay, so there's no sound yet because I gotta unmute it, the site. Okay, so now what is this stock footage? What is this? What's with all the people? What is going on here? Oh, it's a song. Did you record all the video? Are you in the video? Who are you in the video? I thought this was like a tutorial or something. 3K views. Who's that guy? Is that you? Who's that? Is that you? Who's this? Is that you? Who's that? Is that you? Are all these people you? Is this AI generated? I want to know what's going on. There's no way you're in a video dancing, right? It's not you. Or is that you? That looks kind of like your picture, guy with the back. Who's that guy? He looks angry. Did you AI generate the singing too? Who's that guy? Is that you? Who's this? Is that you? I just personally like every time I see a person. So, you try to just AI generate music, take stock footage, and you got 3K views. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Here I am just edgelording over here, but okay, teleport. So what I'm going to do, I think, is no matter what we do when we do a teleport, I'll reset the locks. Maybe I shouldn't. I should probably do it. Ooh, when would I do it? Maybe I'll just leave it for now. Alterium ship's going fine. I've been writing a ton of story and not doing as much bug fixing and enhancements. I now just reserve my technical work for my streaming. I used to do a lot of the development work outside of streaming, but there's just so much to write. I talked at the beginning of my stream that it's not hard to write. I mean, getting my mind into this place to write is one thing, but it's just a lot. Like, it's just, there's a lot to do. So complexity is very low, but the writing is just like, I gotta write it. I gotta write these words and those words. It's like, I just gotta do the work. It's a whole different way of thinking about it. Like, it's not, I have to solve this problem. I think I'm gonna call this ticket done though. This is Dunzo, Washington, friends. I got the edging done. In progress? No. Done, friends. Done. I also have a camera nudge feature. I could see if I could get the knobbers to work on a controller. Let me find my knobbers. Okay, so I'm going to use my knobbers. I'll have to swap my keyboard out so I can steal the one final remaining plugin. It's so funny when I got this computer, which was, you know, the first year into the pandemic, and I got it right before everything got really expensive. It was like, wow, this is a real good computer for all the paid for it, blah blah blah, and now it's like totally antiquated. It works, but you know, it's annoying. Anyhow, things are going fine. We have a new fishing mini game that we're still working on, make better. I want to get the beta launched. I said last stream, the beta, we're kind of on pause on getting updates released. Not only because we have to do a bunch of testing to make sure all the bugs are fixed, but there's other things I can't go into right now, but we're somewhat delayed in things that are not within our control. So we're just kind of making do and getting stuff done while we try to work through some things. But it's fine. I mean, I feel like we're making steady progress. Scale your face off. Okay. So we're going to go look at our controller. Input. So nudge. I want to do a joystick nudger. I was going to go. I should just go steal it from one that I know works. So let's go steal it. Where would I steal it from? It's in our plugins. So your game is on pause. Sorry, you might have just gone to lurk mode, but if you're still here, BJ, your game is on pause. Is it going to get unpaused? You said stalled. Is it going to get unstalled? Hopefully not uninstalled. There's some major blockers you've run into. Have you taught ChatGPT to write code for you? You got burnt out with Twitch, and this is the first time you've been on Twitch in a year. Has it been a year? Oh my god. I don't blame you. I haven't gotten completely burnt out on Twitch. I feel like I still have to keep coming back to it, but I've certainly been a little bit more lax on when I choose not to stream. I think this is the one I want. Use a D-pad? No, I don't want a directional pad. Just left stick. Okay, so it just uses the entirety of the left stick. I guess I could just steal it. I'll do right stick gamepad, I guess. Let's look. Okay. Just copy it. I took 2 weeks off and never came back. Yeah, I haven't been able to do that. I noticed that when I don't stream, and sometimes I don't stream with the intent of getting more work done, I don't get more work done. And some people used to tell me they would feel bad about the fact that I would get distracted on streaming, but I'm just telling you, I get distracted no matter what I'm doing. So it doesn't matter whether I'm streaming or not. And in fact, streaming actually keeps me more focused. Just for the simple fact that I'm not going to be able to go watch another stream or watch a YouTube channel or whatever. Like I'm sort of locking myself into being here. So even if I am slowly getting something done because I'm doing more talking than I am working, I would still argue that that's less distracted than I can get on my own. I have toyed with the idea of recording my work instead of streaming it, or not even instead of, just like other nights where I work, record it to like turn it into small bite-sized pieces of video. I haven't yet tried it though. It's weird because when I'm streaming and there are people here, even in theory, like even if I don't know for sure someone's watching and I just assume someone's lurking, I at least see little avatars there. So even if those people left and they're not here, it convinces me someone's watching. And so I talk differently than I would if I was completely on my own. Very strange phenomenon. Da, 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 da. Okay. So I didn't make any changes to code. Let's see if this just works. I'm always here. Killboy, you know, you're amazing. I wish... Well, I don't know what we would be like in person. I don't know if we've ever talked about what it would be like to be in person. I've heard you stream before. I'm not sure if we would be like... You know, those times like you have connections with people, but only in a certain context, and you get in face-to-face and you don't have the same connection. I don't know what that would be like with us. I don't really know you very well in that level. This is no offense against you, obviously. But I still wish there was a time we could hang out. You know, even if it's just to find out, would we actually get along in real life? I'm not any different in real life. I'm the same person. I don't behave differently. I thought the same thing, but you almost need to hire an editor because people don't want to watch you. Yeah, you do. Mr. Mechamoose, hi. I have met you in person. Well, just get an AI editor, right? Hey, it works. Oh my God, that's amazing. It just freaking works. I'm so happy right now. It just works, guys, friends, y'alls. Using the stick on the controller, which I can't pull up. So I made it work with the keys, but it's digital, right? Binary, basically, on and off. But it also just automatically works with the stick too. And it's set up so it lerps, and it just uses whatever the position is, so it makes sense why it should work. But I guess I just anticipated it not working. And I'm happy. I love it when stuff just works. maybe, knock on wood, maybe I'm finally learning how to be a game developer. It's finally happening. My life is changing. I want to do what? The generic right stick frets. There we go. I mean, I like the Unity input system. I remember early days talking to Wallaber about things like the Unity input system, and he's always resistant. Like, I don't want to use Unity stuff, or I've got this other solution that works better. And then he starts using Unity input system. He's like, actually, it's pretty good. It works pretty well. Thank you for giving me the clap, Killboy. So BJ, yeah, but here's the thing: I wouldn't edit my own videos. I had 8-bit Val do some editing for my voxel videos, and so that's what I would do, or I would make Jacob do it if we thought there was some value to it. But like, I would just pay for it. There's no way I'm going to edit my own videos. It's just too much. I can't work on a project and do other things. And it would only be if I saw there was potential value. I don't know if there's potential value. I don't know if people want to see the work chopped down. They might. It actually might be nice. Oh, I actually see you finish the project as opposed to watching you struggle through it the entire time and maybe finish it. So we'll see. I've thought about doing this for 6+ months and I haven't done it. So I wouldn't hold my breath. Mr. McMoose, how are you tonight? I get the little jitter. It must be just because I'm streaming and it's trying to show video or something. I have to change this. I think what I'm going to do, besides the fact that I need to change the actual visual here, is I'm going to make an all option, and it'll default to all, so it'll just be by date. I don't like having to always switch over to go to my manual save. It'd be cool if each feature was a video edited down. Yeah, just to keep part. Doing okay, just okay. Why just okay? Come on. Tell Papa Matzi how you doing. Papa Matzi. Sounds like paparazzi. Oh, but also, Mr. Mechamoose, as I asked you how you're doing, I got the edging working properly. Oh, is there's still a... I thought I got rid of you. You're dead. I killed you. I could have sworn that I'd gotten rid of the object over there, but they're still there. So we have edging working now. This is our zoom button, which is just a button. It's not like just give us a little bit more zoom. We have a snapback. I like it. It's very much like it gives people the opportunity to look in other directions, but it doesn't make it so it's like locked in or they can't force the camera completely out of perspective. But yeah, so we get to the edge of the map. See? And it's all set up now where we can go through each map and configure it that way. I'm happy. Okay. Another one done. Another one bites the dust. I'm fixing tickets left and right. That's good because, you know, there were a couple of months there where I got like a couple tickets done and we're just pushing things along. Like, you know, the death spiral of sprints. Yes, we do sprints, me and Jacob. We do month-long sprints just so we have some planned work we can track. You know, if you don't hit the sprint goal, who cares, right? I mean, our users care, but I mean, it's not as stringent, I suppose. It's just a way that we can kind of get a sense of how our work is going. And now I've got 2 things done tonight. Now I got to figure out what I have to do next. Let's pull this over here. Look at these things we got done. That says in progress, but that is donezo. I just marked them as done. That's why it shows it's in progress. So I was thinking of Unity Analytics, or I was thinking of starting on display. I think Unity Analytics would probably take me less time. or monster hues. The game looks so much more polished than when I last saw it. Well, that's good. I'm glad that over time we can see improvement. I also significantly improved the performance of the maps. Significantly. Because I went into some real like sticky engine code and I just optimized the crap out of it. Okay. So we've got camera nudging done. I think I'm stuck between whether I should try to implement analytics or this like title display. I think analytics would cost me less time. 10. I don't have to get up early tomorrow. Or, well, the monster hue. Oh, I kind of want to do the monster hue. I'm not making any decisions yet, but I want to go look at the monster hue thing real quick. First off, turn off enhanced battles. Then I'll go look at a monster in battle, I think. One thing I did, which I can't show you now because I turned off the script, these followers that follow behind you, I think it was a couple weeks back I did this. I've made it so I can script them. They weren't scriptable before, but now I'm able to like move them around and have them do actions, which I'm really excited about. Okay, let's get into battle. Hey, Mendoza. The party's finally started. You're here. How did none of these characters have any HP? I didn't realize they had no HP left. Okay, so what we're going to do is look at the scene. Ignore the giant meteor. This is a sort of a metaphor for what it feels like to be a game dev. You know, everything's happily going along here. You're fighting bugs, and there's just this meteor ready to come crashing down on you. Okay, so anyway, billboard. Let's look at this guy. So these guys have a lighting shader. Come on, why can't I get? I want you to. Here you go. Is it the lighting shader? I think it is. It's a lit sprite shader. Alpha cutoff, main texture, brightness, hue. I don't think it is hue though. I think it's a different shader. The hue will change the color of it. Was it just? I think it was the hue. Is that right? Is hue just one value? Huh. I couldn't. Maybe I don't remember what setting I was supposed to be messing with. I thought I had more than one setting I could set. Well, there's contrast too, but the contrast is not exactly what we want. I like that we can explode it though. That's fun. And brightness, which is not also going to be. I don't think I can even change brightness. Alpha cutoff. That's not it. Okay. Was it just hue? That can't be right. I mean, it does change the color though. It's interesting that some of the colors don't change though. I guess if it's a bright color, it just won't change. We just wanted some options where we can make different colored characters, like different color monsters. I don't think I'll work on this one right now. I want to confirm that's actually what it is. I think it might be. But it's not really like a palette swap. It's literally just changing, like shifting the color. Maybe that's the right thing. I don't know. I'll check it. All right, so we're not going to worry about that right now. We will look at... I don't know. Anyone have an opinion? Should I do... I'm going to ask. You may not. Should I work on analytics or the stats enhancements so you can see additional stats for the player, which would be like the weaknesses and strength elements? Or should I do like this UI based title display? What sparks joy? None of it. What sparks joy is the thing I saw before you showed up, Lopar. Unless you were lurking and you saw me with the nudging stuff and the edging. Were you here for the edging and you were just lurking? I've hit a point where like none of this is really sparking joy. I should probably even add on here books. I'm gonna add books, even though I'm probably not gonna work on it. Keep. I also have like racism small. I bet them not being done will spark even less joy over time. I know, but it's just it's more about what sparks joy at this moment while I'm streaming. What should I work on? What really sparks joy is not working on a game right now, but playing a game. There's where my real joy would come in. Let me go look at this one. No, if I was gonna play a game, I would just end my stream. Replace the current method doing map title display. Instead of a default behavior, just showing current map name. So let me think about this one too and see what it would take. I think before jumping in and doing the work, I'm just going to take a look and see what the work would entail. So we have this thing called, I think it's display. Oh yeah, display image or text. So this here. And this uses a command for displaying things on the screen. Oops, Daisy. I want my other keyboard back. I have this nice Logitech one, but I don't know. I've been back using my mechanical keyboard because I kind of like the tactile feedback. Just gotta. Unfortunately, it's like, mid 20 teens, and so it needs a USB-C micro or whatever, or stupid thing it is, like a micro plug-in. Dumb. Wait, not USB-C. I think it's just USB micro. Not C. C is the new fancy one, right? Okay. So when we call this, we call display image or display text. Okay. So this is a command that I basically need to replace to show text on the screen. This doesn't allow me to specify the font, so I don't have to worry about doing any sort of replacement. It's just going to use whatever the base font is in the game. So then what I would have to do is set up something in the UI for displaying things, which I think they have screen effects, right? Or overlay. Let's see here. I have to decide where it goes. So that whatever layer this goes on, it would be text that is intended to show over the top of other things. It feels a little bit like it would need to be above the thing that does like the fading, which is the screen effects. So this has like a screen effects and a fade. So I think I would need to have like above screen effects something that I can place text on. And I kind of wonder if I would be able to get over, like, I think I could do positioning pretty easily. So this is the features like zoom and alignment. Alignment must be like the text if it shows left to right aligned. Yeah. Zoom is going to be basically how much it gets scaled. Then it's got like a fade out and a fade in option. So it's not trivial. It's not trivial to implement. But I wonder if I could chat GPT some of it. This SP text thing is what it is. Script runner. This is the thing that does their drawing onto their screen, and it calls this show text method. Show text. I wonder what it would do. So, okay, let's try this. I'm super curious to see how Copilot could handle it. I'd like to make a Unity face replacement for this show text method on line 477 of class. This does its own drawing, and instead I would like to have a component tied to an canvas object that can be given similar settings under text on the screen by using a templated. Can you provide me with the component? See what it says. I do kind of like using Copilot Chat because it will look at the code I'm looking at as opposed to me having to copy and paste it. Let's see. Text display. We use an object template. Show text. Font size, color, position. Pretty simple. Hide text. Now there is a option here where it fades. So let's see where does it in the script right now? Also look at script runner line 1128 where it has. This is where the command is called that affects the text display. This includes options that can zoom and fade. Go chat GPT. Curious how it interprets all this. Because it's like, this is, the code is not normalized in an understandable way. So it's using a coroutine. But I think I would use, given we have do tween. Maybe use do tween for fades. I don't really need to replace the SGB approach. I guess I could, though. I guess I could replace their approach. Inject my own solution. So, if the effect is called text display, let me see here. I forgot how I set up my effect thing. I don't think, let me see here. I think I set this up in a way that is designed this way. Oh, I guess I just have screen effects. Interesting. How does this work? I just use static calls. Okay. Yeah, so this is a little different. Fade image. Just a blank image here. Okay, so then if I was to write text would have to be done where we can do more than one object on the screen. So there has to be something to manage the list. It can't just be one object. Because the objects have an identifier. If we're going to replace what currently exists, we need to use what it currently has. Okay. So then let's go back to the way their code. Where do they get their ID from? Oh, there it is. Index. Okay. But one thing we need to do also is allow this. Did it use an index? No. Okay. Objects. Notice. Okay. Index. This is so we can reference the object later for moving. Now it's going to give me text display is a fine name, I guess. Let's try it. Copy. So I feel like I should do this in screen effects. Wherever this is located. This is where I decided to land, by the way. I was investigating it, but then I got enough of a sort of potentially valid solution that I'm gonna work with it. So we're gonna need that. We're gonna need to figure out how it's gonna live or where it's gonna live. But it does assume that it's living on a canvas. So maybe what I can do is make screen effects. I think text needs to be able to appear on top of a faded screen. Tasha, thank you for the follow. Welcome. This is a game I'm working on, Alterium Shift. If you haven't seen it, there it is. Right now I'm working on replacing a core engine system with it's hard to explain, but the engine is an engine inside of an engine. And so I'm trying to pull some of that functionality out into base Unity. What I'm going to do, I think, effect area and so display area is going to be for images and text. And I guess by default, we're going to assume images and text would appear on top. Worst case, I can use the Smile Game Builder fade if I want to block everything out. We'll see how it goes. So this is going to be the image. That's fine. I'm going to copy this puppy and put it here. Actually, no, I want to put the image there too. Hold on a second. Honestly, I can leave the one object I can leave there. So let's copy this. Let's paste it in here. We don't need a source image. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? We got to get our 2D on. Girl, put your 2D on. Sounds like 2D, like you're 2T. I'm tooting. Okay. So that means the whole thing will cover that area. So if it fades. And then what we'll do is we'll remove this image. And then we'll just take this one there. And actually, does this add it as a child of the current? Yeah, so it would make sense to put the text object in here. Have I compiled? Yeah, no. So we just need to make a template, which, I mean, you know, fine. I'll just go steal a template from somewhere. Be a good place. Timer. Sure. Get ourselves a text template and let's see, paste. Yeah. Nothing in it. Positioning, I think we're going to base the positioning off of the local. I wonder, hold on a second. What did the code change the width? I think I would need the text of this box to grow or shrink. So if I put a lot of text in here, it would have to grow and shrink automatically. Can I make that happen? Wrapping enabled? No, well, I can disable it. Right? Overflow. In which case it won't matter the size of the object, so it's just gonna be a point. If I make the width 0 and the height 0, it won't matter. It might matter later. We'll see. But scale would just be the font size, I think, as opposed to drawing and stretching it, because we're treating it like it's actually text. We'll find out. Only one way to try. And then I need a way to get access to the display. So what am I going to do here? I could put it underneath screen effects. Because it is a screen effect, right? Is that overloading it too much? But then I don't have to have another static object. So why is it not? Oh, text. Okay. So this will be the reference to the text display object. So I should just be able to get screen effects, which is what I did in other walks of life. And I guess let's see how badly we can break this. Okay. He had also recommended I'd shove this in somewhere. What did you say I should do this, huh? Even though I didn't ask it to. Like, here's where you can go place it inside of the code that you don't want to use anymore. Okay, I know it's here somewhere. Okay. So where did this put it? It put it right before the break. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it for both of them. Now this also has like movement and stuff too, which is interesting. We'll put it right here. Do screen x dot instance dot text display. Now this is not a true vector 2, so I'm going to make a uni engine vector. What is x value? May not be initialized. Oh. Okay, well we'll just zoom color attribute XY. I doesn't have the fade on this one. don't understand. How did it fade then? Display image or text. Okay, let's go say look at this. There is no fade. What? It's only images? Okay, well, I guess I could add a feature. We're okay. Well, then we're not gonna worry about fading then, I suppose. We'll do the constant version, and I'll make this. Show text has 7 parameter. What parameter are we missing? Text. Oh, index. So the index needs to be the SP index. It is default color. What's going on? Don't want XNA. I think I want system.drawing, right? No, crap. What's the color? What does it say? Uni engine color. Oh, okay, fine. Because the uni engine uses lowercase. Incidentally, super obnoxious. They're like, well, you know, we want to do it our way. So I'm certain that's not how it happened. What happened was it's just iterations of developing a system and using something for naming. I think Uni used to do C++, right? Or even JavaScript. And then they're like, no, we're going to go C# all the way, baby. Fully invested. How did the hackers escape? They ransomware. Like they ran somewhere. Good. Good. I like it. See how badly we can display this. Or break this. I said display it, but I meant break it. This is going to show Summiton. Are we going to break things? No bugs. No, I mean no errors. I never set up the text template. I mean, or maybe I did. Okay. So what I'll do to test this then is I'll go to north. Gotta get my map graph over here. I don't know why you didn't like that joke, Lopar. It was great. Play image or text. And we'll just pick a position. Index 0, fine. Text. Pondy pond. I think that's good enough. Hold on. Got a text message from the missus. Gonna take a little response. I like that little hitch that happens. Still pretty sure that that's not something that happens on the built version. Check that before I wreck that. There, progress. Things are broken. That's a good sign. A null reference or something? Oh, right. Well, we know the code got called. So, you know, that's a step in the right direction. Fine. Everything's fine. It didn't create the proper association. That's all. No need to judge Lopar. Oh, why is like I'm getting a little nervous that there's something else going on. Why it's jittering? Pondy Pond Pond. So we did get text right here. I don't know what the object is though. The text has the words Pondy Pond Pond on it. That's also good. Text isn't displaying anywhere. Oh wait, is it displaying somewhere? No, I'm not even seeing it. It somehow is showing. Oh, the text is too big. There we go. Okay. I mean, that's okay, right? It's interesting that it's showing so large, though, even at 1.4. Oh, because the scale. Okay. Now where's the text at? It's interesting that it. Okay, so if I give it width and height. There we go. So, proof of concept is I can make text show up. Position is completely effed. And I'm going to have to figure out a lot of little niggly things. But conceptually, it works. Now, I'm feeling like it's a little slow night for me. And even though I get to sleep in tomorrow, I don't feel a desire to continue to push myself through this. So I'm going to wrap up. Like a tortilla, as my wife says. So we're going to do that. How do I do that? Just chatting? We're going to go find someone else to raid. Aaron is still just chatting. Jitspo Art. Let's see Aaron again. Oh, Aaron's just playing games. Jitspo's cool. I like Jitspo. He's a cool dude. You know, his raid sound is funny. Like, it's like no one's excited to be here, but I'm gonna go raid Jitspo. And I'm gonna wrap up. Y'all, thanks for hanging out tonight. I got some, I got some 2 tickets done. 2 tickets to paradise. I think that's important. Tuesday, I'll be back working on more little things I can get done. And I'll keep just chipping away at things. And, someday everything will be perfect. Anyhow, you all have a lovely night. And I will see you on Tuesday, perhaps. Could be a date. I'll bring the food. Wait, you bring the food? I'll bring the... I'll bring the food for thought. All right. Have a good night, y'all.